Have you ever sat across the breakfast table, coffee cooling between your hands, and wondered why the woman you promised forever now answers with a sigh instead of a smile? Many husbands over 70 feel a chill drifting through rooms once warmed by laughter, yet they cannot name the breeze. In this conversation, we will gently explore why resentment can settle into seasoned marriages and, more importantly, how to lift it. So take a comfortable seat, steady your heart, and join me on a journey back toward renewed trust, humor, and affection you both still deserve. Before we unveil the 5 hidden triggers, keep one truth close. Resentment rarely erupts overnight. It creeps like ivy, slow but persistent, weaving through years of small oversights until suddenly it covers familiar walls. By spotting where the vines cling, you can gently prune them, allowing sunshine back in. The guidance you'll hear speaks directly to life after retirement, shifts in health, finances, family dynamics, and self-worth. Listen with patience, maybe jot a note or two, and picture each insight as a seed of renewal waiting to sprout in your shared garden with steady watering and loving hands week after week. Trigger 1. Loss of purpose and identity. After decades of balancing work, caregiving, and community roles, many wives wake one morning to find their calendars eerily blank. The tasks that once affirmed their worth, raising children, managing a home, contributing to careers, have faded, yet new meaning has not stepped in. When a husband continues hobbies, committees, or part-time work while she feels shelved, resentment quietly swells. It is not jealousy of activity alone, but fear of invisibility, the unsettling sense that her narrative has ended while his chapters keep unfolding. Left unspoken, that ache can harden into distance over dinners. Take Margaret, 73, who retired from teaching and now fills days scrolling through pictures of former students. Her husband, George, still consults for the city's planning board, leaving at 8 and returning animated. Each evening he recaps meetings while she nods politely, hearing her own emptiness echo in the spaces where classroom stories once lived. Gradually, she stops asking about his projects, convinced he values community opinions more than her companionship. The resentment is not about planning codes. It is about feeling archived, like a beloved book no one opens anymore, gathering dust on a shelf beside forgotten report cards. How can husbands help? Start by inviting her into purpose again, not as an assistant, but as a collaborator. Ask what talents or passions still make her eyes light up, then brainstorm concrete ways to share them. Mentoring younger neighbors, tutoring online, volunteering at local libraries. Offer to attend orientation with her, or adjust your own schedule so rides and company are easy. Celebrate small steps. The first phone call made, the first volunteer shift completed. Each acknowledgement says, "Your story matters," dissolving the fear that retirement erased the vibrant teacher, nurse, or organizer inside waiting patiently to serve the world. Finally, guard against unintentional comparisons. If you have new projects, share enthusiasm without overshadowing her emerging interests. Frame conversations as mutual updates rather than accomplishments to be measured. When she speaks, lean in, hold eye contact, and ask follow-up questions that reveal genuine curiosity. Affirm that retirement is not the epilogue, but the next volume you will author together, complete with fresh adventures and lessons. By nurturing shared purpose, whether painting sunsets or babysitting grandkids, you fertilize the soil where affection grows, preparing hearts for the remaining triggers we will explore next. So stay with me as we turn the page now. Trigger 2, communication erosion. Over time, couples may exchange fewer meaningful words than they did in their 30s, not because there is less to say, but because the rhythms of speech have stiffened. Hearing loss, slower processing speed, or simple fatigue can turn lively banter into clipped exchanges. When questions go unanswered or stories are met with distracted nods, wives can interpret the silence as indifference. Each missed opportunity to listen builds a brick in a wall neither spouse intended to raise. Yet eventually it towers between recliners, and shared pillows where whispers once echoed without obstruction or doubt. Consider Helen and Alan, married 51 years. Helen loves recounting childhood memories. Alan, his eyes fixed on the nightly news, responds with absent-minded ahas. She repeats the same line, hoping for engagement, yet the anchor's voice prevails. Feeling dismissed, she withdraws, saving stories for friends over phone calls instead. Alan later wonders why their evenings seem quieter, unaware his inattention sparked the hush. What began as a single neglected anecdote evolves into a patchwork of silence that masks underlying affection, making each future conversation riskier than the last until they share dinners interrupted only by forks and the television's glow. To mend eroded dialogue, schedule technology-free listening sessions. Pick a comfortable chair arrangement, turn off screens, and set a gentle timer for 15 minutes each. While one speaks, the other practices active listening, nodding, paraphrasing, and asking clarifying questions instead of preparing rebuttals. Hearing aids tuned? Use them. Keep voices steady and sentences unhurried so processing feels safe. Afterwards, express gratitude for something shared. Small rituals restore trust faster than grand declarations because they demonstrate daily respect. Within weeks, those 15-minute windows often swell into spontaneous conversations that outlast any news cycle, bringing laughter back to lamp-lit rooms each evening. Equally important, practice gentle touch when words falter. A hand on a shoulder, a squeeze after a shared memory, or even holding palms during pauses assures her that your attention transcends language. Physical reassurance calms nervous systems, making verbal exchange easier next time. As communication rekindles, resentment's fuel runs low. You cannot stay angry at someone who consistently sees and hears you. Carry these habits forward as we now examine the third hidden trigger, one that silently influences comfort and confidence every day inside senior homes, and yet is rarely discussed openly even among the closest lifelong companions these days. Trigger 3. Uneven health journeys. Aging does not visit every body equally. One spouse may still hike canyon trails while the other battles arthritis with every staircase. When a husband's mobility or stamina outpaces his wife's, she can feel like an anchor slowing his adventures. Conversely, if he is frail and she is spry, unspoken caretaker fatigue may fester. Either imbalance sparks resentment when empathy fails to bridge experience. The healthier spouse may unintentionally flaunt vitality or dismiss pain, leaving the other isolated inside a body, behaving like a stranger unable to join shared dreams planned during younger years. Picture Rosa, 71, who developed chronic back pain after decades nursing patients. Her husband, Ken, discovered pickleball last year and now plays 3 mornings a week. He invites her along to watch, assuming companionship suffices, but each cheer reminds Rosa of movements she once took for granted. She begins to dread Thursdays, pretending to sleep late, so he leaves without notice. Ken returns energized, unaware that each new skill he masters chisels at her self-worth. Resentment forms not from sport itself, but from misaligned realities unspoken between loving equals and the quiet daily grief of trading participation for passive observation. The remedy begins with candid, compassionate health conversations. Schedule a relaxed check-in to share personal limits and fears without offering fixes. Then brainstorm inclusive activities, gentle yoga classes, seated gardening, scenic drives with short photo stops, or alternating solo adventures balanced by shared rituals like sunset tea. If medical constraints hamper intimacy, consult physicians together about adaptive devices or therapies that restore comfort and closeness. Celebrate joint victories, however small. The first half-mile walked hand in hand. The first pain-free morning stretch. Mutual advocacy transforms disparities into teamwork rather than competition, nurturing confidence that both journeys point toward the same horizon. Finally, remember empathy flows both directions. If you're the healthier spouse, slow pace occasionally, so companionship trumps distance. If you're managing pain, voice gratitude when he adjusts plans. Appreciation fuels continued kindness. Update one another on doctor visits, new symptoms, and small improvements so progress feels shared. When health becomes a team project, resentment loses its footing. Keep this cooperative spirit nearby as we move into the fourth trigger, rooted not in bodies but in dollars and cents, a subject that can quietly undermine laughter even in the coziest living rooms if left unchecked and unexplored together today. Trigger 4. Financial friction. Retirement often arrives with fixed incomes, unexpected expenses, and shifting priorities. When husbands manage accounts without open dialogue, wives may perceive secrecy or control. Conversely, a wife's cautious spending can feel restrictive to a spouse eager to enjoy hard-earned savings. Hidden anxiety about outliving resources or burdening children intensifies every purchase debate. Resentment thrives not in the numbers themselves, but in the silence surrounding them, turning grocery lists into battlegrounds and vacations into scoreboard arguments over who deserves what. The ledger becomes a proxy for love, trust, and future security in all uncertain economic times. Take Earl and Denise. Earl insists on tracking every expenditure in a detailed spreadsheet, printing weekly reports for review. Denise, who once handled grocery money effortlessly, feels interrogated each time she buys gifts for grandchildren. One day, Earl highlights her purchase of specialty coffee, asking if cheaper brands taste the same. Humiliated, Denise replies with icy silence, later ordering items online to avoid scrutiny. The spreadsheet swells, their conversation shrinks. The issue is less about coffee beans and more about perceived judgment that says, "My pleasure matters more than yours." That message lodges deep, souring the morning aromas they shared. Diffuse financial tension by scheduling transparent budget meetings over tea, not under fluorescent bank lights. Lay out income, fixed costs, and a shared wish list. Then allocate discretionary fund funds for each spouse. No questions asked. This simple envelope or digital wallet affirms autonomy while maintaining overall security. Revisit goals quarterly, discussing medical contingencies and travel hopes with equal weight. If math feels overwhelming, invite a neutral financial advisor, ensuring both voices present. Celebrate each milestone, debt cleared, savings achieved. Just as you once toasted promotions, turning money management into teamwork rather than tug-of-war and reminding hearts that resources serve joy, not control. Even with plans, surprises arise. Instead of blame, practice empathy statements like, "I feel nervous when expenses exceed our plan. Can we revisit options together?" Such wording frames concern as shared, not accusatory. Keep gratitude visible. Thank her for coupon clipping. Thank him for comparing insurance rates. Appreciation fertilizes a financial trust. With money harmony restored, we advance to the final hidden trigger, one woven through family gatherings, bedrooms, and every place intimacy whispers its importance. It may feel delicate to discuss, yet facing it openly can rekindle closeness more powerfully than any budget surplus or tropical cruise could ever promise together. Trigger 5. Fading physical intimacy. As bodies age, hormones shift, medications interfere, and energy fluctuates. These changes can transform affectionate routines into awkward negotiations or quiet avoidance. When wives perceive decreased closeness as rejection rather than physiology, resentment blossoms. Husbands, meanwhile, might misinterpret her hesitation as disinterest, compounding confusion. In a culture still shy about senior sexuality, unanswered questions breed loneliness beneath the same quilt. Yet intimacy remains a vital, health-boosting gift, not a nostalgic memory confined to youth. Addressed with tenderness, it can evolve into a slower, deeper expression reflecting decades of companionship and mutual understanding and trust. Imagine Dolores and Victor, married 56 years. After Victor's heart medication reduced his libido, He quietly stopped initiating cuddles, afraid of disappointing her. Dolores noticed the distance, interpreting it as a sign he no longer found her attractive. Out of wounded pride, she began wearing nightgowns to bed instead of their favorite shared blanket. Neither spoke of the change, yet both felt it heavy as winter quilts. The silence spread beyond the bedroom, settling over breakfast smiles and afternoon walks until even familiar sidewalks felt foreign, echoing with unasked questions and memories of hands once linked without hesitation back together. Reignite closeness through gentle curiosity. Begin by holding hands during a favorite movie, then share feelings the gesture evokes. Schedule a doctor visit together to discuss medication side effects and possible adjustments or therapies. Explore non-sexual touch, back rubs after gardening, dance steps in the kitchen, slow embraces while waiting for coffee to brew. Discuss fantasies or comfort levels without judgment, perhaps using written notes if shyness stalls speech. Laughter matters. Playful humor about creaky knees can dissolve tension, opening doors to new intimacy chapters uniquely tailored to your season of life. Remembering passion has no expiration date on the calendar. As openness grows, celebrate each affectionate moment. An extended hug after a good doctor report, or simply falling asleep holding pinkies. These tiny victories stitch new fabric over old wounds, making the marriage quilt stronger than before. With all 5 triggers uncovered and tools provided, it's time to gather the threads into one reassuring tapestry. Recall the breakfast table from our opening scene. Imagine now steam rising between smiles, eyes meeting with renewed respect and curiosity. The journey may involve pruning vines, scaling walls, adjusting pace, balancing budgets, and rekindling embers, but each step is lighter when walked hand in hand. Remember, love after 70 is not about rewinding time. It is about composing new melodies on instruments tuned by experience. As you apply these insights, be gentle with yourselves. Change unfolds through consistent, compassionate choices, not overnight transformations. Speak openly, listen deeply, move together at the healthiest pace you can, budget transparently, and cherish every tender touch. If this video sparked hope or ideas, please share it with friends who might benefit. Tap the like button to support our channel, and subscribe for more heartwarming guidance crafted especially for vibrant seniors and those who love them in every golden season. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your commitment to strengthening marriage at any age inspires countless others. Remember, every kind gesture moves resentment toward forgiveness. Every attentive moment nudges loneliness toward laughter. Keep talking, keep dreaming, keep choosing each other daily. For additional resources, explore the description box where I've linked communication worksheets, budget templates, and helpful medical questions for your next appointment. And if you have personal stories or tips, please share them in the comments below. Our community thrives on your wisdom and hearts united in lifelong love. Together, we grow stronger, wiser, and warmly connected.